Picture this, it's evening. You're sitting at a bar or at your kitchen table. Your phone buzzes. It's the message you've been waiting on for 4 hours. You open it, hoping for a conversation. Instead, you get 2 letters. Okay. No period, no tone, just 2 characters, and somehow you already know exactly what they mean, even though you couldn't explain it out loud. Something shifts inside you. Not an explosion. A quiet sound. Like a thread stripping in a mechanism you thought was running perfectly. You'll tell yourself they're just busy. You'll half smile. You'll put the phone face down, but you already know. This isn't the beginning of the problem. This is the moment the problem finally became visible. The leak has been there for months, maybe years. You just didn't want to look at the damp wall. Here's the honest diagnosis. People don't treat you this way because they're cruel. They treat you this way because you handed them a detailed, neatly formatted manual on exactly how to make you invisible. You wrote it every time. You answered a work email at midnight, proving your time has no value. Said sorry to bother you before asking an important question, confirming that your presence needs to be justified. Swallowed the frustration when someone cut you off, showing that your boundaries simply don't exist. That's not kindness. That's not professionalism. That's the architecture of your own disappearance. His name's Marcus. He's 34. Smart, a little cynical, makes excellent pasta, and is terrible at saying no. He holds his own in negotiations, but for hours afterward. He replays the conversation, wondering if he said something wrong. His colleagues call him a good guy. If people call you a good guy in a professional setting, understand, that's not a compliment. That's an epitaph on your relevance. Marcus was obsessively available. While the coffee in his mug was still steaming, he'd already closed a dozen Slack tasks. He believed availability equals value. He was wrong. There's a law we rarely say out loud. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Marcus had become a utility for the people around him, like running water. You don't thank the tap for flowing, do you? You just turn it on. And when it starts to drip, it annoys you. This is what erosion looks like. People start talking over you on calls. Your ideas get ignored. Then someone else repeats them 10 minutes later and gets the applause. You get CC'd on emails, but no one addresses you directly anymore. Marcus had become white noise. He was transmitting a signal constantly, and the people around him had simply started filtering it out as static. One Thursday, an ordinary Thursday, nothing special about it, he got cut off for the 3rd time in 30 minutes during a call. Marcus opened his mouth to push back and closed it. Not because he didn't know what to say, but because he suddenly felt it. No one would notice the difference. The moment of truth came on a Tuesday. Quarterly review. Marcus's team had exceeded their targets. The director presented the results as though the numbers had materialized out of thin air. Marcus's name was never mentioned. Not once. Marcus said nothing. He smiled and went to drink his cold coffee in the empty break room. Later, stopped at a red light. He caught his own reflection in the wet window of the car next to him. Blurred glass, a stranger's silhouette. And the thought arrived not like lightning, but like a sentence that finished itself. I did this to myself. He hadn't lost respect. He'd simply never demanded it. The city kept moving around him. Headlights smeared in the rain. Marcus sat through 3 green lights without moving. On the 4th, he drove. Marcus didn't change overnight. The first week, he kept slipping, answering messages at 11 p.m. because silence felt rude. Then he'd get angry at himself, then slip again. But he started rebuilding the foundation, methodically, 1 brick at a time. He stopped responding after 7 p.m. No announcement, no explanation, just silence. The first week, people got irritated. The second week, they were confused. By the 3rd week, they were asking, what's Marcus working on right now? Friction creates value. Access to him had weight now. Instead of, I'll have it done by tonight, he started saying, let me check my schedule and confirm tomorrow whether I can take that on. It was uncomfortable. It felt like not enough. But a month later, when Marcus said yes, people wrote it down. His word had become a scarce resource. Marcus got a notebook, just for himself. 3 things he would no longer permit. I don't get interrupted. If it happens, I go quiet and wait until the room gets very still. My contribution gets acknowledged. I no longer apologize for having an opinion. Marcus isn't a success story. He's the story of a man who stopped at a red light and finally looked in the right direction. Outside your window, there's a city too. Deadlines, demands, people. They will take as much of you as you allow, for free. The world isn't cruel. It's just efficient. If you've priced yourself at 0, the world will accept that price without hesitation. The question isn't whether the erosion happened. The question is, when will you stop writing the manual on your own disappearance? Respect isn't something you demand by raising your voice. It's something you make structurally inevitable. Through the weight of your word, the cost of your time, the firmness of your line. Look in the mirror. The person on the other side deserves to be protected. Not from the world, but from the version of you that keeps trying to be convenient at the cost of your own existence. Less noise, fewer apologies, more silence, more weight. Build something that doesn't leak. Good night. If your reflection lets you sleep,